You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicholas Callis. These are your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Monday, June the 22nd, 2020. The Orioles and Yankees played each other in an AL East matchup, and the Yankees won by a score of 3-1. This was more of a pitcher's duel. No team scored more than one run in any given inning, but the Yankees just had 3 one-run innings as compared to the Orioles scoring just 1 run in the 4th. Jay Happ got the win. Alex Cobb got his 10th loss of the season in this one, and Aroldis Chapman earned his 14th save of the year. AL Central matchup between the Tigers and the White Sox. Final score 5-3. The White Sox came out on top. The White Sox scored first. They put up a run in the bottom of the first inning. The Tigers took the lead in the third with a 2-run inning, but then the White Sox put together a 4-run 4th inning. That allowed them to win by 2, even though the Tigers scored a run in the 5th inning. Michael Kopech got the win, Jordan Zimmerman got the loss, and Alex Colome earned his 22nd save of the year. The Angels beat the Red Sox 7-3, the final score of this game. It was scoreless up until the 6th inning when the Angels put up 4 runs on the Red Sox. The Red Sox cut the lead in half with a 2-run top of the 7th inning, but then the Angels responded with a 3-run bottom of the 7th inning. The Red Sox tacked on a run in the 8th, but they fell short 4 runs. Julio Teheran got the win, and Hector Velazquez got the loss. NL East baseball between the Phillies and the Braves, 6-4 the final score of this game. Zach Wheeler got the win, Mike Fultonavich got the loss, and Hector Neris earned his 18th save of the year. The Twins and Astros played each other in quite an offensive game. Final score 8-6, and you see scoring happened immediately with the Astros getting 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning. The Twins tied the game in the second. And you see several crooked numbers in there, but the Astros delivered the final blow in the bottom of the 8th inning by scoring 3 runs, which tied the game in that inning, but also allowed them to take the lead. Brad Peacock got the win, Sergio Romo got the loss, and Roberto Ozuna earned his 24th save of the year. AL West baseball, the Rangers beat the Mariners 9-3, the final score of this game. Both teams got 3 runs in that first inning. The Rangers broke the tie in the 3rd with a 1-run inning, and they put up a few more runs in later innings and won by 6. Jordan Lyles got the win, and Eric Swanson got the loss. The Cardinals beat the Marlins 5-2, the final score of this game. Alex Reyes got the win, Pablo Lopez got the loss, and Giovanni Gallegos earned his 29th save of the year, and he is still the National League leader in saves. The Pirates and Nationals played each other, and the Pirates got blanked. 5-0 was the final score of this game. The Nationals scored first in the 3rd inning. They put up a run in the 4th, and then 3 in the 8th inning, and they won handily. Patrick Corbin got the win, and Joe Musgrove got the loss. Interleague play, the Blue Jays beat the Brewers 10-4 was the final score of this game, and the outlying inning was in the 7th when the Blue Jays put up 8 runs. Thomas Pannone got the win, and Alex Claudio got the loss. The Mets and Giants played each other. It was a close game, 3-2, the final score. The Mets scored first in this one, and they had a 2-run lead until the bottom of the 5th inning when the Giants tied the game, and then the Giants took the lead in the bottom of the 7th inning, and they won by a run. Trevor Gott got the win, Juris Familia got the loss, and Tony Watson got his 18th save of the year. Interleague play, the Royals and the Rockies played each other, and the Royals won this game 4-3 the final. The Rockies got all 3 of their runs in the 6th inning. Meanwhile, the Royals scored throughout parts of this game. They got a run in the 2nd, 2 runs in the 5th, and 1 run in the 8th. Jesse Hahn got the win, Jairo Diaz got the loss, and Ian Kennedy earned his 15th save of the year with the Royals. AL West baseball, the Dodgers beat the Diamondbacks 6-1 the final score of this game. The Diamondbacks got the first run of the game in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and the middle of the game went scoreless, but in the last third, the Dodgers put up 4 runs in the top of the 7th to take the lead. They added on 2 runs of insurance in the top of the 8th inning, and they won by 5. The Diamondbacks, however, out-hit the Dodgers 11-9, but the Dodgers still managed to win by 5 runs. Alex Wood got the win, and Silverino Bracho got the loss. Looking at standings now, starting in the American League East, the New York Yankees are 47-32. They've won 2 games in a row. They're still at the top of this division. The Blue Jays keeping pace with the Yankees. They're on a 4-game winning streak. They're 46-33, still a game back. The Rays are 38-41, 9 games back. They've won 2 in a row. The Red Sox have gotten on a cold streak. They've lost 6 games in a row. They're 35-44 and 12 games back of the Yankees. And the Orioles still in last place. They've lost 3 in a row. They're 34-45 and 13 games back of the division lead. In the American League Central, the Minnesota Twins have lost 2 games in a row. They're stuck at 55 wins, but that's still good for the best record in baseball. 55-25 is their overall record. The White Sox, second best in the American League Central. They're 48-31, 6.5 games back. They've won 2 games in a row and 7 of their last 10. The Indians are 44-35. They're 10.5 games back. The Tigers are 30-48. They've lost 3 games in a row. They're 24 games back. And the Royals have won 2 games in a row. They've also won 6 of their last 10 games. They're 28-52. Still in last place, 27 games back of the Twins. In the American League West, the Oakland Athletics continue to lead. They're 48-30, but they've lost 3 games in a row. That's allowed the Astros to catch back up. The Astros are 45-32, 2.5 games back. And the Astros have also won 4 in a row. The Angels are 38-40, 10 games back. The Rangers are 32-48, 17 games back. And the Mariners have lost 2 in a row. They're 27-53 and 22 games back of the A's for first place. The wildcard standings look like this. The White Sox have the top spot with a 48-31 record. The Blue Jays second with a 46-33 record. The Astros are also second. They're each the same amount of games back to the White Sox for first place, but their records are slightly different. Then you have the Indians, who are 2 games back of that second wildcard spot with a 44-35 record. The Angels are 7.5 games back. They're 38-40, and everybody else has a winning percentage under 500 and is at least 7.5 games back. In the National League East, the Washington Nationals still lead. They're 47-31. They've won 3 games in a row and 7 of their last 10. The Marlins have gotten on a cold streak. They've lost 4 games in a row. They're 43-35, 4 games back of the Nationals. The Braves have also been on a losing streak. They've lost 3 in a row. They're 40-38 and 7 games back of the Nationals. The Phillies are 37-40. They're back on an upswing. They've won 3 games in a row after having a large losing streak. They're 9.5 games back of the Nationals. And Mets are 33-45, still in last place. They've lost 3 games in a row, and they're 14 games back. In the National League Central, the St. Louis Cardinals are 46-32. They've won 10 games in a row, and they're still at the top of this division. The Cubs are 38-40, 8 games back. They've won 3 games in a row. The Brewers are 36-41. They're 9.5 games back. The Reds are 32-46. They're 14 games back. And the Pirates lost to the Nationals today. The Pirates have now lost 6 games in a row. Still not at 30 wins yet. They're 29-48, 16.5 games back. In the National League West, the Los Angeles Dodgers have gotten themselves on a 3-game winning streak. They're 53-26. The Diamondbacks are 43-36. They're 10 games back. As are the Padres, who are tied for second place with the same record. And tied for fourth are the Rockies and the Giants. The Giants have gotten on a bit of a winning streak. They've won 4 games in a row. Meanwhile, the Rockies lost most recently. They're both 31-47, and they're each 21.5 games back of the Dodgers for first place. And the wildcard standings look like this. The Miami Marlins are 43-35. They have the top spot. The Diamondbacks close. They're 43-36. As are the Padres. These two tied for the second wildcard spot. And you have the Braves, who are the only team right now who are relatively close. They're 2.5 games back of that second wildcard spot with a 40-38 record. Every other team in the National League has a winning percentage under 500 and is at least 4.5 games back of that second wildcard spot that the Diamondbacks and Padres occupy. And looking at league leaders, starting with batting average leaders in the American League, Miguel Cabrera at the top with a .353 average, Carlos Santana second best with a .347, and Miguel Andujar third best, also with a .347, slightly less than Carlos Santana's. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt at the top. He's eclipsed .380. He's now at .381. David Dahl second best with a .351, and Jonathan Villar is third best with a .343. Hits leaders in the American League, Miguel Andujar is at the top with 113. DJ LeMahieu, his teammate, second best with 107. And Miguel Andujar and JD Martinez tied for third best with 106. In the National League, Jonathan Villar is at 115 hits. Paul Goldschmidt second best with 109. And Ronald Acuna Jr. rounds out the top 3 with 97. At bat leaders in the American League, DJ LeMahieu has 328. In the National League, Jonathan Villar is at 335. Doubles leaders in the American League, Anthony Rendon has the most with 29. Giancarlo Stanton second best with 26. Jose Abreu and Miguel Andujar tied for third best with 24. In the National League, Jonathan Villar has 36. Christian Yelich second best with 27. And Ketel Marte third best with 24. Triples leaders in the American League, there are 2 tied for the top spot. Jose Altuve and Adalberto Mondesi each have 6. And then you have Adam Eaton, who is third best with 5. In the National League, Jonathan Villar has 9 triples. Victor Robles second best with 6. Chris Bryant and Hunter Pence are tied for third best with 5. Home run leaders in the American League, Justin Upton has the top spot. He has 26, and there's a 3-way tie for second best. J.D. Martinez, Josh Donaldson, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. each have 25. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. has 30, Paul Goldschmidt second best with 27, and Christian Yelich is third best with 20. RBI leaders in the American League, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. has the most with 77, Jorge Soler second best with 69, and Chris Davis third best with 68. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt has 76. 14 behind him is Christian Yelich with 62, and Cody Bellinger rounds out the top 3 with 59. Runs scored leaders in the American League, Yohan Moncada, J.D. Martinez, and Marcus Semien each have crossed the plate more times than anyone in the American League. They're all tied for the league best 59. In the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. has 66 runs scored, Paul Goldschmidt second best with 65, and Trey Turner third best with 64. Stolen base leaders in the American League, Adalberto Mondesi has the most with 19. D. Gordon and Malik Smith, 2 Seattle Mariner teammates, are tied for second best with 15. In the National League, Starling Marte has the most with 28. Trey Turner one behind him with 27, and Jonathan Villar third best with 21. Walks leaders in the American League, Alex Bregman has the most, 52. In the National League, Mookie Betts and Rhys Hoskins are tied for the most with 55. On-base percentage leaders in the American League, Carlos Santana has a .432 on-base percentage. Alex Bregman second best with a .429, and Miguel Cabrera third best with a .424. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt has a .474, Christian Yelich second best with a .429, and Dansby Swanson is third best with a .420. Slugging percentage leaders in the American League, Josh Donaldson's at the top with a .665, J.D. Martinez second best with a .636, and Yohan Moncada's third best with a .632. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt has a .748, Ronald Acuna Jr. second best with a .730, and Christian Yelich rounds out the top 3 with a .674. On-base percentage plus slugging percentage leaders in the American League, Josh Donaldson has the highest with a .076. In the National League, Paul Goldschmidt has the highest with a .222. Moving on to pitcher leaderboards, starting with wins leaders in the American League, Hyunjin Ryu and Kenta Maeda each have the most wins with 9. Carlos Carrasco and Jake Odorizzi tied for third best with 8. In the National League, Walker Buehler has the most with 11, and there's a long list of players tied for second best. Steven Strasburg, Jimmy Nelson, Jack Flaherty, Robbie Ray, Madison Bumgarner, and Kyle Hendricks all have 8. Losses leaders in the American League, Chris Bassett and Kenta Maeda have not lost a game yet on the mound, and they have the least amount, which tops this list. In the National League, Carlos Martinez has the least amount of losses with 1. Saves leaders in the American League, Liam Hendricks has the most with 28, Brad Hand second best with 27, and Roberto Ozuna third best with 24. In the National League, Giovanni Gallegos has 29, 3 behind him is Craig Kimbrell and Kenley Jansen. They each have 26. Earned run average leaders in the American League, Kenta Maeda has a .231, the lowest among AL pitchers. Jake Odorizzi second best with a .276, and Aaron Savali third best also with a .276. In the National League, Marcus Stroman has a .1.99, Walker Buehler second best with a .225, and Carlos Martinez third best with a .236. Home runs allowed among American League pitchers, Mike Minor and Gio Gonzalez have allowed the least amount with 7. In the National League, Garrett Richards has allowed the least amount with 4. Shutout leaders in the American League, Garrett Cole and Masahiro Tanaka have each thrown 3 shutouts. Jake Odorizzi tied for third best with 2. In the National League, Jacob deGrom has thrown 3, the most among NL pitchers. Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, Merrill Kelly, and Walker Buehler have all thrown 2 complete game shutouts this year, and they're all tied for second best. Strikeout leaders in the American League, Garrett Cole at the top with 131, Lucas Giolito second best with 118, as is Carlos Carrasco. They both have 118. In the National League, Clayton Kershaw has 131, Steven Strasburg one behind him with 130, and Robbie Ray is third best with 120. Complete games thrown among American League pitchers, Garrett Cole and Masahiro Tanaka each have the most amount of complete games with 3. Aaron Savali and Jake Odorizzi tied for third best with 2. In the National League, Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, and Jacob deGrom have all thrown 3 complete games, and they make up the top 3 on this list, though they're all tied for the league best. Innings pitched leaders in the American League, Hyunjin Ryu has 109 innings thrown this year. In the National League, Aaron Nola has 112, which is the most among NL pitchers. Walks allowed among American League pitchers, Carlos Carrasco has the least amount with 14. In the National League, Brett Anderson has 19, which tops the list because that's the least amount among this league. Whip leaders in the American League, Carlos Carrasco has the lowest with a 105. Jake Odorizzi second best with a 107. Dylan Bundy is third best with a 108. In the National League, Aaron Nola under 1. He's at a .99. Marcus Stroman second best with a 101. And Clayton Kershaw is third best with a 105. Pitching war leaders in the American League, Shane Bieber has the highest, 2.7. Carlos Carrasco second best with a 2.5. Jake Odorizzi and Masahiro Tanaka each have a 2.4. They make up the top 4 on this leaderboard. In the National League, Clayton Kershaw is a 2.8. Aaron Nola second best with a 2.6. Robbie Ray third best also with a 2.6. Steven Strasburg also has a 2.6. They make up the top 4 on this leaderboard. Batting war leaders in the American League, Marcus Semien has a 5.1. Alex Bregman second best with a 4.7. Yohan Moncada also has a 4.7. They make up the top 3 on this leaderboard. And in the National League, Ronald Acuna Jr. has a WAR of 6. Paul Goldschmidt second best with a 5.5. And Christian Yelich rounds out the top 3 with a 5.4. These have been your game recaps, standing updates, and league leaders from Monday, June the 22nd, 2020. I'm Nicholas Callis. You've been watching Major League Baseball's virtual network.